Here.
Here. Thank you. Let the record show that President Latu and Trustee Polito are not presently, which they did, I believe, make an announcement at the last meeting. Well, President Latu said she would not be here. President Polito said she would join via Zoom, so maybe she will show up later, but for now, she's not here. Okay, moving on to item number 2, approval of the agenda. Are there any changes that need to be made or anything?
Oh, yes, sorry. Item 9, consideration to approve the job description for data and assessment coordinator. We would like to pull that from the agenda and table it for now. There is actually some more collaboration that we would like to do around that job description.
Okay. Anything else? All right. If there are no other changes, I will take a motion to approve the agenda, pulling item number 9 from the agenda.
I will make a motion to approve the agenda with pulling item number 9 from the agenda. I'll second that motion.
Thank you. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Item number 2 passes 3-0. And moving on to item number 3, closed session. Before we move into closed session, do we have any speakers who want to speak about items discussed in closed session? Please, Alexander, anything? Thank you. With that, it is 6:36 and we'll move into closed session. Thank you. It is 7:19. We are returning from closed session. Thank you. Silence in the room. Um, we're on item number 4, which is return from closed session. We're all here. Yeah, thank you. Item number 5, report of action rather, taken in closed session. So items 3A1, discussion was had, no action was taken. Item 3A2, discussion was had, no action was taken. Item 3B, discussion was had, no action taken. And item 3C1 was approved with a 3-0 vote. So moving on to item number 6, comments from the floor. Do we have any speaker cards?
No, no speaker cards.
Thank you, trustee Alexander. So if there are no speakers, we will move on to item number 7, public hearing. So we're at item 7A, request for State Board of Education waiver. And we will hear from you.
Good evening, trustees. We own a piece of real property, the former flood school site. There's a quirk in state law which says that if the underlying school zoning territory is reassigned to a public petition, we could potentially, in that particular situation, lose ownership of the buildings and the land. It's obviously not the intent of any development on that site. This request to the State Board of Education would waive that particular section, but still allow potential residents to petition. We would obviously not support any such petition, but it could happen. If it happens, this waiver would allow us to retain control of the underlying assets on the site as well as ownership of the land.
Thank you for that, Mr. Eager. Any questions or anything?
So through the chair, we'll need to do a public hearing and open up formally for the community and state the time.
Okay, and is that when I move to item B? Is
Yes.
that, okay, so we're gonna move to item B. And we will now open the hearing at 7:21 PM. So are there any comments from members of the public on this item?
I have no speaker forms.
Okay. If there are no speakers, then we will move on to item 7C and close the hearing at 7:22 PM. Thank you, Ms. Eager. All right, going on to item number 8, approval of the consent agenda. Can you hear me? You good?
Yes, Tim. Trustee Polito has joined, at least via audio. Trustee Polito, can you hear us? Can you say something?
I can hear you, Solomon.
Okay, great. We can hear you fine. Thank you.
Thank you, Solomon, and greetings, trustee Polito. Welcome. It is 7:22 PM and trustee Polito has made it. And we are on item number 8, the consent agenda. And if you guys have any discussion, now's the time to have it. Any comments from the board? From the floor? If not, I will take a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve the consent agenda. I will second.
All those in favor of approving item number 8, the consent agenda, say aye. Aye. You should say aye. Thank you. All those opposed? Item passes 4-0. Thank you. Moving on to item number 9, consideration to approve the job description. Oh, we pulled that one. Sorry, trustee Polito, earlier we pulled item number 9. So thank you for reminding me, trustee Alexander. We are on item number 10, the superintendent's report.
Probably most have already seen some of the information I will be sharing as we try to get this, convey some of the great work that's happening in Ravenswood and also some future events that are going to take place that we want to make sure the trustees are informed about in the community. No worries. And I'll just go ahead and start. One of the main things that we wanted to make sure that the trustees know that we are doing is trying to get feedback on our local control accountability plan. And so there is a survey that has gone out for the community as well as staff to complete. And so we're still seeking input from our stakeholders so that we can improve and formulate our local control accountability plan for the 22-23 school year. And so we will continue to push out this information so we can get some more feedback. There's also, oh, thank you, Solomon. There's also feedback in regards to the Living Promise, where Sequoia has created an MOU with the following universities. And there was some question about what does this look like in regards to the 2 bullet points as it applies to partner district for 8th graders. And speaking with Superintendent Dr. Darnice Williams and their Assistant Sup of Curriculum and Instruction, this is something where they would like us to work collectively on to develop what are the outcomes that we want to achieve, and more importantly, be able to have a progress monitoring and metrics to determine how well we're actually implementing that. And so they're looking forward to developing a committee that would be made up of members from Sequoia as well as members from the district to be able to participate and develop. And they're also going to work on doing this with the Redwood City School District as well. So we will make sure we come back and provide updated reports on the defined goals and outcomes, and also how we are progressing towards those goals. We also just presented, we're completing our first year of the soft launch, and our goals for the soft launch of the teacher evaluation was to make sure that we help navigate the evaluators through this condensed time of implementing this evaluation process, which is brand new. We also wanted to work on aligning evaluators in the process of the evaluation. We also needed to shift mindsets and move away from compliance mindset around just completing the evaluation process versus utilizing it as an opportunity for growth and development. And then also we want to continue to support the district and the evaluators in developing systems and have those clear communications that are consistent in a variety of modalities. And then of course, we still need to do some work around the calibration across our evaluators using the California Standards of the Teaching Profession rubric. Jennifer Gravum, our Executive Director of Educational Services, and our consultant who's supporting us, Jenna Menti, will be doing some feedback sessions with teachers starting next week. And of course, this is an effort for us to have clear communication of what went well and what are the areas of growth so we can sustain the buy-in behind this. I think just a wonderful way to make sure that evaluations remain meaningful. And you can see the next steps here is that we definitely want to make sure we build out systems and structures during the month of August so that the new evaluators and new team members are well informed about the process. And then we also want to make sure that we have consistent, cohesive systems of communication between the district and the sites. And again, we're working on that collaboration so that there is clear, not collaboration, I'm sorry, we're working on calibrating what we see in the classroom so there's some consistency in the feedback. And then we want to make sure too that the coaches that are at the sites are used in a meaningful way to support with the instructional initiatives at the schools. Just some updates here. Our 7th graders, I don't know if you recall, they came back about a week and a half ago from Yosemite, and they had a fantastic time there, really focusing in on the sciences. Specifically, they explore the various ecosystems and the relationships with each other. And every time, my next slide will show this as well, that our students go on such trips, they do have stronger bonds and friendships from the experience. We have our robotics team, it keeps evolving, you all. They're at the World Championships. You can see that photo in the middle. It is a big deal. Folks around the world are coming to this event. And so you see the team on the left there. The photo in the bottom in the middle, our student is the one standing up with the cap on. When they traveled, the device actually fell apart. His robot fell apart, even though they have the equipment to make sure it tries to stay together. And when he tried to put it together, the base actually was too wide and didn't meet qualifications. And so these individual young men who flank him actually have spent, according to the principal, hours to try to help. And what the principal was able to share is that camaraderie was evident versus the competition. And so Declan is his name, one of our students there, was benefiting from the camaraderie. And then you could just see the photo at the top. I mentioned, like the one from Yosemite, our students really developing close relationships. And there's always opportunities to learn. And you see that they're at the monument there for JFK, at the JFK Memorial. And our principal also took them on the street where JFK was assassinated and showed and did a quick history there as well. So they're getting full bang for their buck there while away. Some are getting homesick, but they're still really excited. Also, COVID is still here, and we want to make sure that we don't have a surge. So we do want to encourage folks to get vaccinated or boosted. There will be clinics next week, May 18th through the 20th, at our after school. Our pandemic recovery response coordinator, Ann Wanman Roy, has orchestrated this. And so we do have 3 dates at 3 different schools for folks to get vaccinated and boosted. Want to make sure the community is informed that we do have an event on May 27th at 10 a.m. at the Bellahaven Elementary School, 415 Ivy Drive, where we want to showcase how our funds have been utilized for Measure H and S. So we call this our bond tour, and we're going to be able to showcase the projects that have been completed specifically at Bellahaven, so we can have tangible, concrete evidence of what our funds have gone towards and what the community dollars have gone towards. It's also an opportunity to showcase projects that still need to be completed at the school site. At Bellahaven specifically, but that will definitely represent the needs that are similar at other sites. And we'll make sure we send this out. We're actually going to send a mailer out to all the residences specifically in Bellahaven, and then we'll send out parent and family notices through Parent Square. Follow us on social media. You'll see some great things that our schools are doing, specifically Los Robles Ronald McNair Academy, led by their principal, Alex Casada, and the families and students there participated with Canopy for the annual Maris tree planting on this past Saturday. And it was just great to see the students coming back, contributing towards environmental justice and supporting the environment. That's it.
Thank you. Any comments or anything for Superintendent Sudario?
Just thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Superintendent. Okay, we are moving on to item number 11, board reports. Any reports from the board, folks? That's number 14.
14, yeah.
No? Trustee Polito? No, nothing?
No, that seemed by.
Okay.
I didn't realize we were already at board report.
Yes. Hey,
Wow.
It zoomed by because you're on Zoom.
I guess so, yes.
Okay, on to item number 12, board policy and regulation revisions, March 2022 updates for second reading and action. So any comments, any questions? If not, I will take a motion. Yes, a motion to approve item number 12.
I'll make a motion to approve item number 12, the board policy and regulation revisions. I'll second that motion.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. Item approves 4-0. Thank you. Okay, item number 13, consideration to approve resolution number 2021-2022 through 25, board member excused absences. And so this would be for President Latu, who informed us all that she would not be able to be here this evening. So I believe I'll take a motion and then we'll read. Trustee Alexander, I'll take a motion.
Make a motion to approve item 13. I'll second. So resolution number 2021-2022-25, board member excused absences, whereas the education code authorizes that each member of the governing board can be sick.
Thank you. So all those in favor of approving item 13, say aye.
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 All opposed? Item passes 4-0. On to item number 14, special board meeting via Zoom on May 23rd, 2022 at 6 o'clock. Any comments?
So through the chair.
Yes.
And Trustee Polito, with your permission, I'll go ahead and review quickly the things that we talked about with the East Palo Alto City Council members that were there.
Yes.
I'm sorry?
Yes, please.
Okay. So the district agenda items, there were 4 items on the district agenda. They included the construction progress at CCRMS, the facilities and parks partnership between the city and the schools, the June general obligation bond, the planned leases that we have, and the city council agenda items include public health and safety, the safe routes to school, CSEC, and the expansion of the Aspire Charter School on Runnymede.
And through the chair, CSEC stands for
Thank you.
Commercial Sexual Exploitation of Children. Yes.
So we're bringing it before the entire board just to get like feedback or thoughts about the agenda items, and if there's any concern with any of the items or potential additional items that were not mentioned.
Through the chair, I do have a question. This item number 4, I'm a little, from the city council agenda items, I'm a little confused on why it is included in this connected board meeting, because I do believe that construction is still ongoing, or is it completed?
I would have to follow up. I don't know if our CBO, Will Eager, has an update there, but it was brought up as, oh, go ahead, Trustee Alexander.
Yeah, through the chair, I don't think it had to do anything with construction. It was about traffic.
Okay, but this is something that we had on our agenda, I don't know how many, like a year ago? Like how, because I remember approving the moving of some.
Right. Through the chair, I don't believe it's because of the construction, but because of the expansion, there has been an impact on the traffic flow in that area. So I guess
They are doing a separate construction project. We did move 2 portables from one of our site to their site to replace 2 existing portables. We in no way added to the overall number of classrooms on the campus. That's kind of unrelated. They are doing a big, as Superintendent Sedario brought up, a big construction project related to their expansion on the site that I think has caused some consternation among neighbors.
But, okay, so my question is how are we, what are we obligated as a school board? Like, how is this something we can speak to? That is my question.
We are the oversight of the charter. And so if there are concerns, we would like the community to address that directly to the site administration. And if those items are not resolved or those concerns are not resolved, then they would come to the district level as we are the oversight of the charter.
Okay, and just through the chair, just for me to know, has there been any concerns from the community given to the district about any of these things?
Yes, there
Directly.
has.
Okay.
Approximately a year ago, some concerns were raised by a number of individuals. We worked closely with the site operational team to sort of work directly with the community to mitigate those. I believe several meetings were held directly with the community. I have not received, but I'm aware of any complaints in the last, really, I think about a year or so, really was last summer, about the site in particular.
Okay, I would say that is something that I don't think needs to be on this agenda, but that's my personal opinion. But again, we are a body of five, so.
And through the chair, if I remember correctly from the meeting, it was specifically the traffic impact with the middle schoolers going from the old site to the new site when they closed the high school. And that increased the number of students and cars going up and down Runnymede. That was specifically what the council members brought to us from the city of East Palo Alto. There was no mention of any other traffic. It was just student transport traffic.
Again, I feel like this is not an item that the school board has any control over, or, I mean, I think we can make our opinion known, but it's also, it's in a city of many people. It is a street in a city of many people. And so my question is again, I don't think that this is something that we can address, or, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what we can address in this situation other than being a hearing body. So if they want us to sit and listen, I am willing to sit and listen, but I also don't think that it's a conversation type of thing.
What I, through the chair, what I hear is that there seems to be, this seems like it can be resolved apart from having this be on the agenda for the governance teams to address. This can be something that's regular business,
Yes, agreed. That is-
addressed through regular business.
Yes, that's what I
That's
think.
fine.
But again, it's my opinion.
Also, I have a question about number 1, public health and safety. What exactly is that?
I believe trustee Polito?
Yeah, I raised that. That's not so much for us to report on. It's more for the city of East Palo Alto. There has been an increase in safety concerns related to the upkeep of the city. Our students getting off of bus routes, walking to school, are encountering very unsafe environment within the city limits due to encampments and other things. So we just wanted to know what the city was doing so our students can feel safe walking to and from school, and also be able to use parks and recreational after school, resources that our city provides. So we just wanted to know where that was at, because we have concern over the safety of like the student day-to-day traffic coming in and out and having to walk to and from. And there's just being a lot of kind of an unsafe environment with some of the impacts of COVID, and we just want to see what their plan is.
Thank you. Yeah, I was a little confused. That makes sense, and I would love to have that conversation. I was a little confused because we got the item number 2, safe routes to school, down as a conversation, which I think I heard you speaking to. And then under item number 1, there's only one topic that says community members experience housing insecurities. So that's what I didn't understand if that's what we're talking about. 1A. If there are other things under this topic we're talking about, should we put it?
If we would like,
Okay.
if there are other topics that we would want the city to address around public health and safety, then we would probably want to share that now.
Okay, yeah, this is just a very specific,
Yes.
what's written here, and so that's why I was trying to see what that meant.
Mhm.
And actually, our safe routes to school topic came up because of that conversation. So it kind of added to that.
Okay.
Could I also clarify for item number 4, expansion of Aspire? One of the council members did preface, like, I'm not sure that they're aware that it's not under their jurisdiction, but it was something that the community has brought to her. And so I just wanted to make that clear that they are aware that it's not under their jurisdiction, but they wanted to address. But now reflecting on what you said, Trustee Bloom, it does make sense that's something that could be done apart from this meeting as regular business.
I also want to raise that the council members brought this topic up because they feel like we are allowing additional traffic to exist to and from that school site. However, that school site is known to house students from all over the Bay Area, not just the city of East Palo Alto, but the impact of traffic is negatively affecting the city of East Palo Alto, even though it's not, because the charter is not only serving our students, So they're wondering like, what is our due diligence as we oversee that charter to see how do we help mitigate those negative impacts of, having a charter there that doesn't just serve our students. However, expanding the site causes certain negative factors like additional traffic for that community. And so they wanted to understand that process and how we manage and oversee that to make sure that, we're having our community interest first and foremost before anything else.
Thank you, trustee Polito and trustee Alexander, for that detail, and trustee Varghese Williams for those wonderful questions. Any other questions? If not, we're gonna move on to item number 15. Are you gonna say something?
Just really quick, I want to make clarification that I'm able to go back and work with the city manager on these topics.
Okay. Yep, is that what we want? So we're still on item 14, so yes? Trustee
And
Polito?
there is one more question about the 23rd.
Okay.
If we are willing to host in person, I know it says Zoom, but wasn't sure if we're willing to host in person. And would we host, or would you prefer that the council?
Where would we host if we hosted?
Of the hosted is this
We
big
could have a
echoey
table.
chamber,
And just
but
like-
city council chambers are just as big and echoey.
Pardon me?
The East Palo Alto City Council chambers are just as big and echoey as this.
I was not sure. If
Aren't
there's-
their chambers larger than ours though?
It's huge, yes.
So wouldn't it make sense if we're having two bodies come together to go to the space that has more of an increased capacity? I mean, that's my thought and opinion on the matter.
Just, through the chair, city council is still online,
Okay.
right? They're still on Zoom, I believe. They're not in person yet. So,
Oh, is that true?
yes. So I am fine with in person or on Zoom, but I don't know if, that's a question you can ask them, because if they want to, they've been on Zoom this whole time. And so if they're going to move to in person, the other thing is I would want to make sure that this is also put out to the community by however it is. And we have that set up already here. The question is, do they have that set up over there? Right. So that's another thing to keep in
So
mind.
the interim city manager is willing to help support with the lift on this, on their behalf, on our behalf. And so is willing to organize and set up the agenda and what have you.
Okay.
So if
But
it's,
however, to trustee Bloom's point, if they're not even convening in person for their,
they would host,
there'd probably be little interest to do it for our joint meeting.
no, they probably will still do Zoom, but the interim city manager will be willing to set up the Zoom and take care of those logistics. I just wanted to make sure if that was the interest of the board.
If I recall correctly, when President Latu brought this to us, I believe we're doing this in response to a request from the city, correct? Like we didn't
Correct.
ask to come together, they asked to have this joint meeting.
Yes.
So given that they extended the invitation, I think it would be courteous to ask them what they had in mind as far as how, who's hosting. And it sounds like the interim city manager is willing to take on that responsibility. So I don't see why they wouldn't be able to carry that forward.
Great. Agreed.
All right, thank you. So item number 15, the next regular board meeting will be held on May 26th, 2022 at 6:30. Open session will be at 7:15 p.m. And item 16 is adjournment. And with that, it is 7:48 p.m. and this meeting is adjourned.
Great job.
Hey, I beat Melee.
Good night, Anna.
Good night.
Bye, Polito.
Bye.